It's like people that don't know what clean water tastes like, right? They've never had it. And then you give them clean water, and they're never going to want to go back. Great strong start to the week, yes. Tomorrow, we're going to have to talk about the Activision Blizzard deal. I'll be right back.
So you know what's crazy? I woke up today, I clicked on a Destin video and I saw that he was smiling, which is probably good news because the man hasn't been smiling for over a week now. And then I saw a Dreamcast guy did a soy face for his thumbnail, and I took it as a sign that that must mean the EU approved of the ABK merger. You see now, maybe you shouldn't have separated from the EU. That little irrelevant island with all the people who have the funny accents.
Gone, what's wrong with the way I talk?
Everything. Seem to be the only ones that don't want this acquisition to go through. And it shows. Because basically today the EU proved to everyone what I've been saying all along. The CMA simply doesn't want Microsoft to own Activision. That's really what it comes down to. If China wanted to come in and buy Activision, they probably wouldn't have a problem, which says quite a lot. Anyways, sorry for the chewing. Majima walked in here and gave me a sandia, so I figured why not. Even when I'm half-assing it and eating as I edit, I'm still 10 times more entertaining than everybody else who's gonna be covering this topic.
Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong.
Am I wrong?
You're not wrong, Walter. You're just an asshole.
Okay then.
So all of you can relax because Xbox season is over.
Pony season. Xbox season. Pony season. Pony season. Xbox season. Fire!
Microsoft's $68 billion deal to acquire Activision Blizzard has been approved by EU regulators just 2 weeks after UK regulators blocked the acquisition. The European Commission has concluded that the deal can pass thanks to commitments from Microsoft related to cloud gaming. The EU found that Microsoft would have no incentive to refuse to distribute Activision's games to Sony, and that even if Microsoft did decide to withdraw Activision's games from the PlayStation, this would not significantly harm competition in the consoles market. But EU regulators, much like the UK, did find the acquisition could harm competition around the distribution of PC console games through cloud gaming services. The European Commission has identified remedies allowed for the deal to go ahead through 10-year licensing deals that Microsoft has offered to competitors. These include a free license to consumers in EU countries that would allow them to stream via any cloud game streaming services of their choice, all current and future Activision Blizzard PC console games that they have a license for. Cloud providers will also be offered a free license to stream these games in EU markets. These licenses are automatic and mean that consumers will have a right to stream Activision Blizzard games they've purchased or to subscribe to on any cloud game streaming service of their choice and play them on any device using any operating system. It appears that the European Commission requested Microsoft offer this automatic license, and the Xbox maker will now apply this globally. Our decision represents an important step in this direction by bringing Activision's popular games to many more devices and consumers than before, thanks to Cook Club Game Streaming, Executive VP in charge of our competition policy at the European Commission. The commitment offered by Microsoft will enable for the first time the streaming of such games in any cloud game streaming services, enhancing competition and opportunities for growth.
А що, мені дивіться, як вона їсть шоколад, я теж може хочу шоколад, блін. Задумала, блін, мені дуже шоколад.
So let me get this straight, the regulators on that tiny little island with the people with funny accents was unable to find a solution to the problem, and yet the EU figured it out like that. See, again, this is why I say the CMA has a massive hate boner for Xbox.
I'm threatening you. I got a hot on for you already.
They didn't even try to come up with a solution. And yet here comes the EU putting Microsoft through a test by making them stick to their word and allow Activision Blizzard games on other competitors' streaming services through the exact same 10-year deals Microsoft has been offering everyone. So would you look at that? How is it possible the EU was a lot more rational and thought to themselves, well, if Microsoft really means it, then let's force them to stick by that. Is that not something the CMA could have done here? Makes you wonder, doesn't it? Because this solution helps consumers and it helps the market. Again, how was the CMA unable to solve this problem and just outright deny the merger? EU actually took time to sit back and think to themselves, how can we get Microsoft to pay for everything? All right, you want to own Activision Blizzard? Okay, but it's gonna come at a price. You're gonna have to ensure that Activision Blizzard games are available to stream everywhere. This is huge. Big win for consumers. Massive. Undeniable. Basically, it's guaranteed Activision Blizzard games will be streamable on whatever service you want for the first time ever. And while consumers are cheering because, yeah, this sounds like a good deal, the CMA is big mads, treating the EU like they went behind their backs. Well, it's your fault. You guys chose Brexit. Can't blame anyone but yourself. You really expect the EU to care what you think after you made the choice to leave? Nah, sit down. What do you gotta say to us? What's your excuse this time for being unable to find a solution?
Our response to the European Commission's announcement today on Microsoft Activision. The UK, US, and European competition authorities are unanimous that this merger would harm competition in cloud gaming. The CMA concluded that the cloud gaming needs to continue as a free, competitive market to drive innovation and choice in this rapidly evolving sector. Microsoft's proposals accepted by the European Commission today would allow Microsoft to set the terms and conditions for this market for the next 10 years. They would replace a free, open, and competitive market with one subject to ongoing regulation of the games Microsoft sells, the platforms to which it sells them, and the conditions of sale. This is one of the reasons the CMA's independent panel group rejected Microsoft's proposals and prevented this deal. While we recognize and respect the European Commission's entitled to take a different view, the CMA stands by its decision.
I don't remember asking you a goddamn thing.
Whoa, someone at the CMA was not too happy at today's news. Why would you feel the need to even come out and respond? To be this vocal about the disagreement is hilarious. They were ratioed within that thread. See, the CMA is pushing Microsoft further and further into the idea of perhaps pulling Activision games from the UK itself. And trust me, that is not good for consumers. If this hasn't made it obvious as fuck to you that the CMA specifically doesn't want Microsoft to own Activision, then I don't know what else will. Because if the solution was always this obvious, then the CMA would have gone with it. Well, that's the thing. They're unwilling to do it. They're unwilling to allow consumers and other streaming services to benefit from something like this, even though it's in their job description to ensure consumers are always winning and have their best interest. So, even though the EU clearly didn't want Microsoft to own Activision, they still saw there would be no harm to the console market and that they had a solution to the cloud gaming problems. And they did all of that with Jim Ryan crying in their ear. Impressive. So not a single PlayStation fanboy has to be up at 4 in the morning thinking about this anymore. There's your solution. You win as a PlayStation user. Unfortunately, no pony can put their pride away. Even though this is in their best interest, they refuse to have Microsoft's name attached to anything near them. And a lot of them, 24 hours before this happened, were confident it was going to be rejected by the EU.
Me tomorrow when the EU blocks that shit too.
You must be so embarrassed.
It amazes me because if this deal goes through, it means that they're going to effectively get Call of Duty on PS Plus, and yet they still don't want it to go through. That's how much they hate Microsoft. They're willing to sabotage the potential of their own streaming service if it means Microsoft catches an L. That's how invested they are in the console war. It goes far beyond the pieces of plastic anymore. It all boils down to their pure, utter hatred of this company. Jesus Christ, is probably the fastest I've ever seen a tweet expire and get all nasty and moldy. In less than 24 hours, it went from ripe and juicy to foul and nasty to look at. Jesus Christ, throw that tweet in the trash, you retard. And please, for the love of God, do yourself and everyone a favor. Stop trying to predict stuff and stop being so sure of yourself. That's how you accidentally knock up a chick.
I was sleep tonight knowing that even if the EU decides to approve the APK deal tomorrow, it means nothing because the CMA already blocked it.
Let him have his fun.
Well, it would seem Kieran unfortunately didn't get very good sleep. Man clearly stayed awake scrolling through his timeline waiting for the moment the news got announced. Because less than a few hours after posting that, he was already back on Twitter ready to console war over it. You know who actually did sleep nice and peaceful and woke up this morning with some of the best memes on his mind? Me. Well, that's because I drank and smoked a lot right before bed. You, on the other hand, you were scrolling for hours through your phone, waiting for this to happen. The funniest part is all this purchase will do is benefit them, and they're still that scared.
I guess everyone gave up on defending Redfall. They went back to the CMA EU FTC conversations. Leader God is the final boss. Hashtag Xbox. The duality of Xbox.
Oh my God. All day. This man spends more time with Xbox than he does with his children. It's amazing when Xbox season is over, ponies are begging for it to come back. They want the focus to go back onto hating on Xbox. They cannot stand it when the season ends early. J-Dub was putting all of his poker chips on this. This man bet his entire family that it wouldn't pass. And now that it has passed, he's on full damage control mode, tweeting non-stop, trying to redirect the hate. Isn't it amazing? Because they all say it's not a big deal to them, but the minute the EU approves, they lose their goddamn minds and can't stop tweeting all day. Please, can we just go back to making fun of Redfall, please? Quit being such a bitch, J-Dub. Oh my God, take your L. You can always start over with a new family. It's not a big deal. You're not the first person to gamble away everything over console wars. And sadly, you probably won't be the last.
Thank you to stay strong and keep protecting us from Microsoft's trillion-dollar claws.
Ho, ho, ho! Stop it, Bill! You're scaring him!
They are literally preventing you from playing Activision games on PS Plus. They're not protecting you, they're preventing you from saving money. They are going against your own interest. Don't you want to play more games for less money? These guys would have cut off their dicks if it meant Xbox couldn't catch a single W. Holy shit. Sir, this cancer treatment is brought to you by Microsoft. What? Disconnect me right now. I'll take the leukemia over Microsoft.
Xbox fanboys celebrating EC approval. Meanwhile, Xbox is getting thrashed by PlayStation, Nintendo, and sales. Redfall is still on a shit and a flop. Game Pass is stagnating. Phil admitted defeat in console war. Xbox storage solution is joke and overpriced.
Whoa. This is worthless.
The ponies stay in their hamster wheels non-stop, running for that piece of cheese. That piece of cheese, of course, being the end of Xbox. Keep running, ponies. Keep going. Come on, keep going. Why would anybody who wants to just play Activision games on Game Pass care about any of that? Xbox getting thrashed by sales of the PlayStation? Why would I care? Redfall being trashed? Yeah, okay, that's fair. Game Pass is stagnating? I don't give a shit. I use it to save money, not to brag. Phil admitted defeat in the console war? What are you, 12? Xbox storage solution a joke and overpriced. At that point, he started running out of ideas. It's amazing how none of this has anything to do with the Activision Blizzard merger. Unfortunately, a pony's natural instinct whenever something frightens them is to console war.
The EU published a press release with this image. It makes Microsoft look like a publisher trying to buy games and distribute them to console/cloud gaming services. This is misleading in light of the CMA's findings about Microsoft's ecosystem/cloud plans. Fun show tomorrow.
Ah, that's nice. My new favorite bundle of sticks is back. He's quickly starting to replace J-Dub and King Thrash. Impressive. Finally, a white boy. Now, you're gonna have to do a real thorough job tomorrow of debunking this PowerPoint presentation looking ass image that the EU made, but you gotta give them credit. They made it so that it was console warrior proof, so even the most retarded of PlayStation fanboys can understand what it says. So what's that you said, Reforge? It makes Microsoft look like a publisher trying to buy games and distribute them to console/cloud gaming services? How's that misleading? That's exactly what they're doing. Microsoft is a publisher, and they are trying to buy games, and they are trying to distribute them to consoles and cloud gaming services. That's exactly what they are trying to do. How is that misleading? What, now are we supposed to believe the EU is intentionally misleading everyone because they love Microsoft? Yeah, no, they don't love Microsoft. And they did agree with the CMA on the cloud streaming concerns. But unlike the CMA, they put forward a remedy, and they didn't disagree with the CMA. They just offered a solution. Nothing is misleading about it. They are telling you exactly how they plan on having Microsoft do this. I understand you have a PlayStation audience you have to give hope to, but for the love of God, so many of you are making a big deal out of a huge benefit for yourselves. That's how you know it's all just for show. There's no way in hell Reforge is gonna believe a single word he says tomorrow. I'll be there to witness it.
I see so many Xbox fans taking a victory lap because the EU approved the Activision Blizzard deal. Meanwhile, CMA put out a statement saying they stand firm in their decision to block it. I wonder if these Xbox fans realize the EU approving the deal doesn't really change anything when it comes to Microsoft's fight against the CMA. Especially if Microsoft happens to win their appeal, it doesn't mean the deal goes through. The CMA can still simply turn around and say no, we are still blocking it. At least that's my understanding of it, but yeah, kinda sad that this is the only good Xbox news fans get these days.
Imagine locking away your console war takes behind a paywall. People actually pay money so that they can see MPG privately console war. Just think about how crazy that is. I love it because you know MPG is upset. It angers him to see Xbox fans happy about it. It ruins his day, just like it ruined Reforge Gaming's stream. That's how lethal good Xbox news is. Because the minute, and I mean the minute it was announced that the merger was blocked by the CMA, both MPG and Reforge were streaming right away. But when it was announced the EU approves, no stream for the day. Just a members only post crying like a little bitch about it. Personally, if I was a PlayStation guy and that's all I was playing on, I would be pretty excited because this means I could play COD on PS Plus in the future. But no, these guys prioritize their console war points.
CMA slams EU approval of Microsoft Activision deal and will not be backing down from blocking it. Interesting that Xbox fans ripped CMA for cloud argument when that's also what the EU says they're concerned about, which justifies CMA ruling. Just EU was willing to give Xbox an out, but CMA says that's unacceptable. For now, the deal is still blocked.
It's not a proper Salt video without the Red Dragon. The man puts in a lot of overtime capping for PlayStation, and he doesn't even get paid to do it. Wherever good Xbox news is, expect to find the Red Dragon. Again, these guys are banking heavy on the CMA still blocking it. But if it's approved everywhere else in the world, you may be the only ones that don't get Call of Duty on a streaming service. You fucking moron, idiot. Stupid! Microsoft losing is only a W in the imaginary console war. In the real world, we're talking about real money, real paying customers, and actual products. Take the console wars away, and you'd be surprised that the vast majority of people actually want this to happen.
Furious Xbox fans are flooding the CMA with hateful messages and attacking them as they find out the EU approving of the Microsoft Activision Xbox deal doesn't mean they can now rent Call of Duty for $1 because it's still blocked due to the CMA.
What are you, gay?
Oh no! The government body being bullied and harassed! Oh no! No, not the poor government officials! No! Leave them alone! Leave the people who take your tax dollars alone! I'm amazed the Red Dragon actually thought that was a good one. You really think it's based to leave poor government officials alone? You know, especially when they don't want you to save money, and instead they want everything to be expensive and complicated? My god, that's how far they're willing to take it, just to get one at Xbox. Let it be known that the only thing you gotta do to get these guys to cap for government bodies is to tell them Xbox is involved. You can turn them against anything. You want healthcare? That's Xbox propaganda. You want lower taxes? Xbox propaganda. Better roads, better bridges, better utilities? Xbox propaganda. These guys would let their own mother die in bed if it meant Microsoft would no longer be allowed to release a new console. Crazy. Well, either way, looks like the ABK merger has sparked some life back into itself, and we're once again back on pony season. So everybody come strapped next video, bring your own bullets, and consider liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing if you so choose to. That being said, I'll see you in the next one.
I've been a PlayStation dick sucker since the PlayStation 1 days.
He said it! He said it!